Hi, this is Janet with Try It Like It Created, and today I am here with Gwen Studios ribbons, and we're going to be making a gift of a bracelet. So what I have in front of me are a couple of ribbons from Gwen Studios, and I have a coordinating bead that I'm going to use with that. I have a pair of scissors. I have a plier, a jewelry plier. Jewelry pliers do not have a bumpy edge inside so that you don't mar up your metal. I have these two closure pieces, and then I have my clasp, a couple of jump rings, and then I also have my fabri-tac off to the side. So to begin, we're going to take our ribbons here and just clean up the ends a little bit with our scissors. And I'm not worried about the length right now. I've cut longer than what I need for this project. All right, so I'm just gonna stagger the two ribbons. One is satin, one is grosgrain. And I'm going to stagger those, and I'm going to stick just a little fabri-tac in here to be safe. It's not necessary per se, but a little added extra adhesive never hurts your project. So let me see if I can get the fabri-tac going, and I can see here already that it's got some collected at the tip. So I've cleaned that off. And then I'm just gonna put in a nice little drop here at the end. Sorry for bouncing you. Okay, I think that's gonna cover it. All right, so I'm just going to kind of glue all of that together, and then I'm gonna set that all inside my clamp here. And now you can just finger close this to begin with. All right, so I'm just giving it some great pressure. If you have enough strength, you can definitely do that. And then you're going to take your pliers and assist it the rest of the way. So I'm going to clamp on one side here and then flip it over and clamp on the other. It's not so much necessary to flip it over as I did, but what I'm saying by both ends is I want you to clamp here and clamp here. All right, so now we have a little bit of fuzzies, and you can clean those up if you want. The other thing you could do in a situation like this here, where it's in the opening, I could hit it with a lighter. Let me see if I've got it here. Yeah. I'm just going to hit it with my lighter real quick and just burn those edges away. That way I don't have to try to get in there and clip them off. So I can just melt the ends, and I'm just blowing on it to make sure the flame is out. Now that's very hot, so you want to be careful. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a jump ring. And here I have to kind of guess what size is going to work, but I'm going to go with something right in the middle of my box here. All right, and then we're just going to open the jump ring up. You just give it a little twist. I'm doing this with my hand. If it's too difficult for you, you could definitely do it with two pairs of pliers. And then I'm going to add on one side of my clasp. So I'm going through that hole, and now I just need to give everything a nice close there. And I just want to double check to make sure that everything is lined up well there. And if you give it a little wiggle, it stiffens it up a bit. All right, so that's our first step for our bracelet. And now the next step is to take these ribbons, and you can see here I have all different lengths. So first thing I'm going to do is just double check on my length around my wrist, and I have more than enough there. So I'm going to go with the shortest ribbon, and I'm going to trim to that. All right, and then I'm going to roll everything up into itself like so that I can feed it through this bead. All right, so I'm going to feed it all through there, just giving it a twist to get it through, grabbing it on the other side. You definitely could use your pliers to help pull through if you needed it. It's really not that difficult to get it through there, so I'm just going to pull tight on everything to make sure that we have the same amount of ribbon on both sides of our bead. And our bead is going to be loose, okay, meaning that I'm not gluing it in place. I am not going to you know, tie anything down. I am just going to leave it in there loose. All right, now I'm going to adjust my ribbons a little bit, and I think what I would like to do are twist the two smaller ones so that now the darker one is on the opposite side that it started on. All right, so this is what our bracelet is going to look like, and the twist is going to happen kind of in the middle. You can see there's the twist. If I lay this down, you can see there's the twist, but I'd like that to happen right inside that bead. Okay, so if I have to, I could go in here and glue to make sure that those stay put, but that would be after I've finished making the piece. All right, so there is that step, and now what we want to do is to measure around our wrist, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we're ready to move on to clasping the other side. And what I have done off camera was I measured around my wrist. Now my wrist is quite large. I wear about a size 8 bracelet. Most people wear around a 7. So what I did was, and my clasp here is quite large, so what I did is I measured around to the back side, and I clipped my ribbon to be generous so that when it's clasped shut, it's still a bit loose and gives to the bracelet. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and close this up, but I want to play around with my twist to see if there's anything else I want to do here before I finish off this side. So I'm liking the look of this. I like the twist there. I'm definitely going to use some glue underneath that twist to hold it in place when I'm done. But now we're ready to work on this side of our ribbon, same as we did on the other side. I'm going to open up my fabri-tac again. And once again, this is just a precautionary extra step that if your clamp was to come undone, your ribbons will stay together. All right, so I'm going to glue that together. All right, and then we're ready to put this clamp on. And what you can see here, I've measured the width of my ribbons to be the same width as this piece. All right, so here we are, ready to clamp it shut. So if you can see here, what I'm doing is grabbing it at the base of my plier here with the side of the clamp, and so I'm really pushing hard on this side or this edge, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take that ribbon and tuck it in there if I can, and if not, let me see what I have that I can tuck that in with in front of me. I do have a needle here that might help on this. So there, okay, I've got it tucked in and under. All right, trying to limit the tools that you would need for this project, so I was trying not to bring in too many extra pieces. All right, so we're good, we're clamped down nice and shut, and we have glue in there. And I am going to go ahead and just burn the edge, the sides of the ribbon here, just to make sure that it doesn't extend beyond the edge. Okay. Now keep in mind that that's hot. When I'm touching it there, it's very hot. So I'm just touching it briefly. All right, so we still don't have our twist in here necessarily, but I am going to now twist it again. All right, so that's what we want, so that I know the direction that I want this end to be attached. And you can decide which way you want that little leaf design to be. It could go either direction, really. So that's kind of nice. And so all we need to do is attach that using our jump ring. I don't lose it here. The other thing is that the pliers that I'm working with here are slightly magnetized, and so you saw me pick up my jump ring there using my plier. Hopefully you don't hear the buzzing in the background, but that's our laundry machine. My daughter's doing her laundry. All right, so now I'm just gonna squeeze that shut, and it looks like this got a little bit open, so I want to pinch those back together if I can. Once again, doing this all with one plier, just to save you on tools. Typically you would use two, but one works just fine. All right, so there is our bracelet. All right, and like I said, I'm going to go underneath here and just give it a little bit of a cheat by gluing those pieces down. All right, so let's see. All right, so that's open, and what I want is twisted like that. All right, and it looks like I have got a ribbon twisted underneath here, so I'm going to have to open that up and straighten that out later. But basically this is what I want. Okay, so let me grab some clips here. Now these could be paper clips. I'm just grabbing some sewing clips. They could be paper clips. Any kind of clamp will work, but I'm just doing that to hold it in place to show me what I want. All right, and then I'm just going to go in here with the fabri-tac and do a little dab where I want to place these guys. So I'm going to dab onto the larger piece, all right, and then I'm going to stick this one to this side and this one to this side. Now I'm being a little fussy about this. Of course, you could just wear it the way it is. You don't have to glue these down into place. Entirely up to you how you want to do your project. And I realize that sometimes what I'm doing is a little bit more fussy than what needs to be done. You can just go in here and just use it the way it is. All right, so what I'm doing right now is not necessary. All right, but I do like the look. All right, so that's that. Give it a little twist there. I'm going to peel these back. That twist may not even stay put for us. I'm okay with that. We'll just wear it the way that we wear it. All right. But these are, you know, this makes a great gift. And it didn't take much to make this happen, right? So there we go. And I think a little bit of time sitting will get that twist to iron down flat by itself, and that would be our end piece.